It was just kind of cool to open our eyes up to like, you're this way, or these characteristics relate to you, and I was like totally the opposite. Like almost everything that he was, I was not, and I was like, I thought we were exactly the same, and like you're really not, even though you are. I don't know.
It's a little bit more dynamic and animated. They're drawn to things that keep their attention. The blue being more very much that coddling, loving, caring type of background. So it was like kind of an epiphany for us that while we felt like we were so much alike and that's what drew us together, we had to learn what we were different with and how to work through those different things.
Or a little bit more chaotic on Britney's side, which means that maybe Nick has to do some food prep or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
I got it in me.
yeah.
I can still do it.
Well, you got some nutrition background in you.
I always
so,
give
yeah.
her a hard time. Like, just because you cook all this really good looking food doesn't mean I'm not capable.
Yeah.
And I'll prove it to her every now and then. Like every once in a great while, I'll cook her a nice meal. Usually breakfast though. Breakfast is kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a guy thing. I don't know. Maybe not. So just an example of how we work together. A lot of it comes back to food. I think, you know, I can't work out for Britney and she can't work out for me. So the things that we can do for each other a lot of times revolve around how we prepare for our week, make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. So when we first started looking together, the give and take is super important here as well. And then she knows about every tip, trick, and tool to be able to make things more efficient for us. So, I mean, when we do cook, or when you do cook, we have an air fryer, we have a food processor, we use the oven, we use the grill, we use the stovetop, we use the microwave sometimes. Like I think it's important to know that if you have a repertoire or like a large toolbox of different cooking utensils or ways to make things, it makes it a lot easier too. So
And variety. I mean, you don't want to be eating the same baked chicken all week long, you know. So air fryer chicken, bake your salmon, like just mixing it up, I think helps keep you not so bored with making healthy food.
Same with seasonings.
Helps you kind of stick. It helps you stick with it too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, you're getting a different flavor. If you do turkey burgers all the time, maybe do turkey meatballs or ground turkey. Like, just don't eat the same food the same way every single time that you make it. Listening to something the other day about it's overall the amount of sleep you get throughout the week as opposed to every single night 8 hours. Like, yeah, if you might get only 5 or 6 hours because of whatever happened with your schedule, but try to make it up somewhere else.
Yeah, it was Aubrey Marcus has a book called Own the Day, Own Your Life. Really good book. I just finished listening to that probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he talks about a guy that Britney has actually heard on a podcast before. His name is Sean Stevenson. And he has a book around sleep, and he's apparently a very well-known sleep expert. And so they had talked about the principle behind not focusing so much on 7 to 8 or 9 hours, whatever your focus or your target is per night, but looking at it from a week's point of view. And it makes sense because it's like that's how you do everything in fitness and health. If I have a bad day, it's okay because I can use tomorrow and I can make sure my whole week is right. I think it makes it easier for us to not beat ourselves up. And that principle helped me with Britney is very picky about sleep compared to me. I can go probably a little bit more sleep deprived than her. Now, is it good for me? Not necessarily, but I can still function a little bit differently. And I think the nights where she'd be ready to go to bed and I'm like, no, I'm gonna hang out or I'm gonna take my time, it's helped me and her really have a better understanding of how we can work together around, okay, I need to go in the other room and do this. And she'll be a little more patient with me because she knows that if maybe she only gets 7 hours tonight, we can try to get 8 or 9 tomorrow and look at it from more of a weekly point of view.
Communication. You just, you know, how to help each other be better and give each other the love that they're looking for, so you are happy within your relationship and not just going through the motions.